Thu Nga xin kính chào quý khán giả. Vâng, thưa quý vị, hôm nay chúng tôi có một cái buổi nói chuyện rất là đặc biệt. Quý vị có thể nói là phỏng vấn, interview hai nhân vật, và một nhân vật ngồi bên cạnh của Thu Nga đây là anh Matthew Lowe. Anh là giám đốc của Asia Times Square, và ngồi của bên cạnh của anh Matthew đó là ông Greg Gressner. Ông là councilman của Place 8 City at Large của Grand Prairie. Trước tiên thì hello Matthew.
Hello Jay, how are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Hello Greg.
Hello Jay, thank you for having me today.
Sở dĩ mà chúng tôi có mặt ngày hôm nay là tại Asia Times Square sẽ có một cái event rất là big mà anh Matthew anh có thể là nói về cái event này.
Yeah. First and foremost, I want to thank SBTN and Radio 1600 AM. And this upcoming event is something very dear to me right now, just because of the rise in the anti-Asian behaviors that we're experiencing right now. So I think now is the right time to for Asia Times Square to host our very first event in the month of May, which is Asian Heritage Month. Mm-hmm. So, you know, I know there's a lot of good things going on right now, but I want to celebrate. I want to celebrate our diversity, and I want to bring everybody come to enjoy and be part of the Asian culture as we celebrate Asian Heritage Month. And so thank you, Jay. Thank you, 1600 AM and SBTN for giving me this platform to invite everybody to come and join and celebrate with us.
With the COVID-19, you know, still going around, and the people, you know, really worry, and we have a problem with all over the world.
Yes.
You know, but Asia Times Square with Anna Matthew thì lúc nào cũng có những cái event để cho quý vị có thể là celebrate. So that is the purpose, you pay back to the community like you always say it. And Anna Matthew cũng có nhắc về cái crime, tức là anti-Asian, mà quý vị cũng biết là nó đã xảy ra time to time ở trong cộng đồng của người Việt, và ở trong cái những cái đường phố, ở trong những cái chỗ mà người ta có thể là ghét người Á Châu, phải không?
Yeah.
So let me ask Greg. Greg, can you tell me what your motivation, why the reason you sponsor for this event?
First and foremost, my friendship with Matthew. Our city has been a culturally rich and diverse city for many, many years, and we celebrate that diversity. We feel like it makes us a much stronger, more loving, more accepting, and a more open society. We have partnered with Matthew and his family, the Lowe family, for many years on several of their projects. It has been a wonderful, wonderful opportunity to bring the development that they've brought here. They've expanded and made this corridor of our city absolutely beautiful. So my dedication to my friend, Matthew Lowe, I wanted to make sure that our citizens knew that we are culturally diverse, very much accepting in our city, and that we welcome everybody here and celebrate their own culture and their own history.
How did you get to know Matthew? How do you think about him?
Well, once again, it's our community involvement. He and I have shared our family stories with each other. We both come from a family who have a long line of giving back to the community in which they live. The community supports the Lowe business, the family business. The community has supported my family and our family businesses for many years. We felt it was a responsibility, and we were taught and raised that we give back to the community in which we earn a living. And we wanted to make sure that we continued doing that with our family history. Matthew and I started working together through the Chamber of Commerce, and then when I got elected, our city had always had a good working relationship with the Lowe family in Asia Times Square and Hong Kong market that has continuing today.
Yeah.
Chắc chắn là ai cũng biết Lowe family. Đây là một gia đình mà đã có mặt ở trong community for longest time. Gia đình của ông Lowe always giúp đỡ cho cộng đồng nhiều mặt lắm, mà giống như ông Greg Gessner ông cũng đã nói rồi, thành ra khi mà ông cũng rất là thích thú và admire cái việc mà Asia Times Square growing bigger and bigger. Can you tell what next for Asia Times Square to grow? Like have a third phrase or what do you call that?
Sure, I'll be happy to share. First and foremost, I want to thank Greg for his friendship, number one. And then secondly, more importantly, is also the partnership that Asia Times Square have with the city of Grand Prairie. I think we have a common goal, which is to prosper and bring something that our community can be proud of. And again, Asia Times Square wouldn't be where we are, who we are, or what we can become. I keep on saying that, and I really mean it, without the support from City of Grand Prairie, and most importantly, with the support from your viewers. Hong Kong Marketplace been in business for 34 years. Asia Times Square will still continue to grow.
Yeah.
We work very hard. We consider all of our business our tenants. We call them tenants, but we consider them our business partners. And so their business is our business. And what we're trying to do is to continue to add more value to the property, continually to improve our facility so that we can bring more traffic. So Asia Times Square can be the destination for Asian businesses. So our next phase, we just finished our plaza, which is why we're having this grand opening ceremony for the plaza. And then we just almost finished with the food court, which has, like Greg said earlier, we got written on NBC, ABC, Fort Worth Magazine, Dallas Magazine, on all those. We've been getting very good positive feedback and coverage on that. But the third one I'm working on that I'm very excited is a brand new 11,000 square foot standalone building. Oh. And when you drove in, you can see a big old hole. Well, we're digging that so that we can go vertical. And there we already signed 7 leaves. It's the first concept, a drive-through concept in Dallas-Fort Worth. So that, Tony Wynn and I have become friends, and so we're very excited about that project.
Yeah, when the first Asia Times Square opened, and people say, well, it's kind of, far away because you move Hong Kong to over here.
Yeah, from
but
Arlington.
now it's growing, fast, and people just get used to it, and everybody know about Asia.
Yeah, I feel very blessed. I'm very blessed and fortunate, and just very thankful for the love and support from you, from the the community. The Vietnamese community has been there since 1986, when Hong Kong market was only 1,500 square feet, and now we've got 2 locations. But again, just very thankful that we have the support from the city. I have a good friend Greg here, and continue to work together. I think that's the key, is we have to continue to work together to make it a better place.
You rerun for the council place 8 at large. What does at large mean?
Correct. Yes, ma'am. Running for re-election to the Grand Prairie City Council, place 8 at large. And the at large means that I represent all citizens of Grand Prairie. So I don't represent just one small single member district. I represent the entire city, very similar to the way the mayor of the city represents the entire residents. So we operate in every district. We run in re-election or campaigns in every district. And I have been first elected in 2009 and have been re-elected every term since, and I'm up for re-election for another 3-year term starting in 2021.
You heard Matthew said when we talk about the hate crimes, against the Asian community. How do you feel about it? And how do you feel about they call hate crime act? They fixed to present, but Ted Cruz said maybe it's just not that big deal. But how about your thought?
It's a bigger deal than some people may even realize. I know in our city, we will not tolerate it. And matter of fact, last year we did 2 things to support equality and social justice. We passed an ordinance supporting equality for all members of our society, and That ordinance also stated that we would work as a city with the city and our businesses in town to help promote racial equality and social equality. So that ordinance, with those tools in place, we also put together a very big event that we will be doing annually called Unity in the Community. Our idea is to bring members of our city, residents from all over, or anybody around the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex can participate. We want to bring everybody together to show them that we are a loving, peaceful town, that we accept all racial and socioeconomic backgrounds, and we want to help promote and love and respect one another.
Yeah. Hate crime is terrible. How about you?
I would like to echo what Greg said. I'm just very thankful that we are in the city of Grand Prairie, and I'll tell you the reason why is because we have such great leadership. And then secondly is I love how the Chief Daniel Cessny, the Grand Prairie Chief, has been very, very proactive in making sure there is no such thing as Asian hate crime in the city of Grand Prairie. And so when this issue started to arise a little bit, making news, Chief Cessny did reach out to me and say, hey, this is not gonna happen here, especially at Asia Times Square, when the police already have a storefront at Asia Times Square. But I just love the way, how we work together, and Chief Cessny is just extremely proactive. It just speaks volume about how, not just Greg, but the entire city council, the mayor, Tom Hart, Steve Dye, Chief Fight, they're all aware of the situation. And I know one of the things that the city of Grand Prairie did was hired a inclusive coordinator, right?
We did. Gerald Hodges, an African-American police officer in Grand Prairie, has been promoted to an inclusion officer for the city as well. And we've made a very dedicated and conscientious effort to go out looking to help diversify our own city workforce and promote that throughout the other businesses within our city. Our young Asian American police officer was first hired, I believe, in 2016 or 2017, and we're still recruiting to all sectors of our society to make sure that our employees, our police department, our fire department reflect the residents of our city.
Yeah, I think all the races should be equal, and be
Agreed.
loved. Yeah, and how about the police department? Any like a cut funding, and do you support for them?
We have been so very fortunate in the city of Grand Prairie. The citizens of Grand Prairie and our businesses like Matthew Lowe and the Lowe family have been very supportive of our police department, and I think that's because of the efforts that we take to reach out to our community, to let people know that we're not just an enforcement agency. That police department is there to help the citizens of Grand Prairie navigate our tough daily lives sometimes. And yes, sometimes we're called in to help settle disputes between neighbors or other issues, but we're also there to protect and serve our citizens of Grand Prairie. And I think one thing we have to look forward to as Matthew and I both get older, and our sons and daughters start to mature. Our parents did not raise us with some of those biases and racial biases. We did not, in effect, raise our children that way either. And we see that with the younger generations coming aboard, that is not really going to be an issue. And I think as we all mature and all age, and we get enlightened and understand each other's place in life and where we come from, that we stop and find out who each other is individually, and we don't make assumptions based on someone's racial or ethnic makeup.
Yeah, we need policemen because with the hate crimes, it didn't happen, or it doesn't happen, a lot, but still it happened. And when it happened, we sure need policemen.
Yeah.
We have been very fortunate. Over the last 10 years, we've been able to reduce the crime rate in Grand Prairie 47%. And that has been a great effort. It's just a team effort between the residents of Grand Prairie and our police department. So we did not defund or cut any funding for our police department. We've always told our professional law enforcement officers, tell us the tools and equipment you need and we will figure out how to budget to get those to you so you can effectively do the job that we ask you to do.
Yeah, we need policemen at and some a big event like this. We have a security and a policeman.
Absolutely. Like I said, we have a great partnership with the City of Grand Prairie Police Department. So every time we have an event, we always have police officers here.
Right.
And then we hired additional security officers to assist the police officer. But we're just been very blessed. Every event we have has drawn a good crowd, and everyone just come out here and everybody just celebrate diversity. I think that's the biggest thing is that when we have an event, we don't just see the Vietnamese people or the Chinese, just the Asian. When we have an event, we have Hispanic, African American, all different nationality and different ethnic group come and join us, and that's what Asia Times Square is about. Is inclusive and preserving tradition, promoting culture.
What is special in this celebration? Do you want to mention?
Yeah, so this is our very first time celebrating in the month of May, which is Asian Heritage Month. I think of all the years, this is the year to do so, just because of the anti-race behavior that's been kind of on the rise. And I don't want to concentrate on too much of the negativity. I want to concentrate on the positivity. I want to celebrate. And so we're able to join forces with another group. They're calling themselves Nesian, which is Polynesian, Micronesian, Indonesian, Malaysian, and those are a group that are Asian, but they're more specific. They're more of the islanders. And so we're going to have an event May 22nd and May 23rd. And it's about celebration. They're going to bring a lot of Polynesian food. They're going to have fire dancers, hula dancers, and then we also were very fortunate enough to book Cien Palakai. She's a phenomenal singer. Go ahead and Google or YouTube her, and you know who she is. She's coming to perform for us for 2 days. But on the May 22nd, Jay, is something that's very important to me.
Oh, okay.
Which is raising the flag.
Exactly what this name is for?
The inaugural Nesian Festival. So this year we're only doing for 1 weekend, and we're going to concentrate on the Nesian group. They're going to bring a lot of the like I said, the Polynesian, the Hawaiian food, and all those dancers. All the hula dancers and the fire dancers, and they're phenomenal singers. But moving next year, we probably want to do it at 3 weekend long, because we want to celebrate as many different Asian ethnic groups as possible, because it's Asian Heritage Month. And so that's the plan. But this year is only for 2 days, just 1 weekend.
On the stage or virtual?
No, it's in person. Come out and celebrate. We're gonna do it outdoor.
Yeah.
It's in May. It's gonna be beautiful weather. We have a beautiful outdoor plaza. And thank you again, City of Grand Prairie, for the support. It's gonna be an outdoor event. It's gonna be fun.
That's good.
And then at 5 o'clock on May 22nd is one of the days that we're gonna do the grand opening of the plaza and also raising the flag. We have 5 flag posts out there. One flag will be the United States flag. The other one is the Texas flag. And then we've got one from City of Grand Prairie and City of Arlington. And then the 5th flag will be the Asia Times Square flag. And what's unique about that is because we really want this to be a cultural event. So the Asia Times Square flag can be taken down anytime there's another ethnic group that come and celebrate. So let's just say, for instance, you have Philippines that want to come celebrate their Independence Day. We'll take down the Asia Times Square flag, and they can bring their flag. We raise it up. It'll be their flag for that day. And so same thing with any group that want to come in. We really want to promote culture, and I think by doing so, our mission statement is preserving tradition, promoting culture. Our vision statement is something that I'm very proud of, is to become the destination connecting cultures and community. And I think by us, staying true to the mission and the vision, we can surely help reduce ignorance with replace ignorance, right? Let's just not reduce. Let's totally replace
I
ignorance
could agree with that.
with tolerance. And so I think by doing so, we'll learn one another a little bit more, accept our differences, and just be kind.
How about the food? The all kind of.
Well, you know I'm all about food.
And you know it'll be good, whatever it is.
So all kind of food of the different.
Yeah, we'll look. If you're interested, come. Make sure you contact Big Lum and sign up the booth. We only have a few slots left. But this one we did specifically want to cater towards the Polynesian. So they're going to bring a lot of their flavors to Asia Times Square. And I think there's someone doing crawfish and what have you. I know there's bánh and stuff like that. Yeah, come hungry and bring cash.
How about you? Do you like the Asian food?
I love it. And my wife and I eat here quite often at the Pearl Restaurant and also Bistro B. And we come through and shop at Hong Kong Market for our produce and our fresh fish. And so proud to be a part of Matthew's circle of friends and influencers, and also so proud to be a sponsor of this upcoming event.
Yeah. So let's see. Back to your rerun in this election. So there is the bond, and city try to to sell it or produce it to make money for the city. What do you think about that?
Well, I can educate the voters on what the bond purposes are.
What is the purpose?
The purpose, if the voters give approval for the bond package, the city would use those bond proceeds for economic development. That would be new development, such as hotel, conference centers, restaurant shell, and we are in negotiations with restaurants Stir, Vedora, Serious Pizza, and Loop 9 Barbecue. And those would be built next to the under construction Chicken and Pickle. But it also gives us an opportunity to revitalize parts of our city, downtown Main Street, create a walkability, and hopefully attract more restaurants and retail to our downtown Main Street. And it will give us the ability potentially to take some older sections of town and maybe even revitalize those areas, or maybe even purchase the land or the buildings so the city can control the zoning and control what's being developed there. So there's several hot spots that have been identified throughout the city of Grand Prairie, and they pretty much encompass our entire city from the north all the way down south to our untouched and pristine peninsula at Joe Pool Lake. So it's just an economic development tool. The bonds would not be issued unless a project was identified and fully vetted and reviewed at several different levels, including the city council, and a vote to affirm and approve the project would have to be done before any bonds would be issued. It's $75 million total, but that's not one $75 million lump sum. It's there to give us an economic development tool, much like the city of Arlington has a 1/4-cent sales tax, and other cities have a development economic corporation that they use those funds for.
So when the voter go to the poll, they vote for the candidates and they vote for the bonds at the bottom. Can you tell us a little bit about
Yes, I voted this morning, and the bond is the last proposition on the ballot that the Grand Prairie resident will see. And in some cases, there'll only be 2 measures to vote for. If you live on the northern side of town, outside of District 6, which is the southern part of Grand Prairie, you will only have the at-large Place 8 to vote for and the bond proposition. If you live down in District 6 near Westchester and parts of Lake Ridge and Grand Peninsula, then you will have District 6 councilperson to vote for, Place 8 councilperson to vote for, and the bond package. And the bond's on the last page.
So I know Councilman Greg Gessner cannot, his whole purpose is to educate. And that's all he can do, is to educate and kind of explain what the bond is about. He cannot go out and try to tell people to vote yes or no. But for me, as a business owner, even though I don't live in Grand Prairie, I can assure you that this bond does a lot of benefit for a city. Every city has it. Every city has some kind of economic tools to encourage or to bring in more businesses here. So when they're able to bring more business, the city is going to be able to generate a little more sales tax. Now, that sales tax is going to help keep property tax down, right? And at the same time, with that money, with that tax revenue, they can increase the quality of life and the quality of services to the community. And so I think for me as a business owner, I love the direction that the city of Grand Prairie is doing. I think this bond is a good thing for the city because we have to continue to grow. They have to compete. The cities is just like a business. You know, we have competition, and so we have to have the tools to compete with other cities. And if we want to increase the quality of life, this is some of the tools that we need to have.
Everybody loves to have a quality of life,
but
no raise tax.
No raise tax, exactly. And the best way to not increase property tax, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, is to generate sales tax. And all this restaurant that's coming in, they're going to be able to generate their sales tax revenue.
Correct, and that's the whole purpose of the economic development package. Is those projects would generally and typically create 2 additional revenue streams. One would be the new development, so there'd be an additional brand new property tax on what used to be a vacant piece of land. Secondly, that project will more than likely include a sales and use tax and or a sales and use tax plus a hotel tax. So those will generate additional sources of revenue which would be the source to pay the bonds back. And any additional revenue a city can create helps give relief to the property tax of business and residential homeowners.
Vâng, thưa quý vị, và nếu mà quý vị có đi bầu bất cứ một cái election nào, một cái cuộc bầu cử nào đó, thì quý vị cũng nhớ là quý vị bầu cho cái ứng cử viên đó. Và thường ở trong thành phố đó hay là trong những CD đó thì quý vị thấy có những cái project mà người ta muốn quý vị là say yes or no, right? Say yes or no. Thì quý vị nhớ cái phần đó, tại vì cái phần đó nó cũng rất là quan trọng. And besides that, people tended to think the president, election is the biggest one and most important. But they have to know, the position in the city is important as
I think yes, it's
even more because it close to our
you have a
life.
direct impact,
right?
You have a direct impact, and so voting for your local leaders is extremely important. You understand what's going on in the city is extremely important, and so one thing I love about the city of Grand Prairie is that the councilmen, they will disagree, but they always have a common goal, which is what's best for the city of Grand Prairie. And I think we have a great leadership in Mayor Jensen, and I know Tom Hart is doing everything he can to make sure our Deputy City Manager Steve Dye is coming in and taking over and making sure we're heading the right way, the right direction. And so I want to thank the city of Grand Prairie. Thank you, Greg, so much for sponsoring this event. It means a lot to the Asian American, I can assure you that.
Proud to do it and glad to do it. And I would just add to your comment, your local municipal government is the one that you still have direct access to. I have a retail office in town, a family business, and people can, if they have a city issue, can just simply walk into my office or call me on my cell phone. Matthew has an issue that he needs some help with the city, he can contact any of us. So that your municipal election has more effect on your daily life, but the good thing is you also have more access to those that you've elected to represent you in your municipal government.
Yeah, not just presidential election. And now back to this event before we close this interview or talk show. What do you want to tell the listeners out there?
Come and celebrate. Come and celebrate. First and foremost, make sure you continue to practice safety protocol. I know many of us are slowly getting our vaccination. I got my vaccination. I assume you did too. More and more people getting vaccinated, which is something I encourage people to do. Your health is very important. but it's time to celebrate. You know, we cannot continue to live in fear and being afraid to go out. I think having an event like this to celebrate our Asian heritage is an awesome feeling. I look forward to you coming out. We are recruiting ATS, or Asia Times Square ambassadors as well. And what we're trying to do with that is just have a group of people with different ethnic background, different creed, of different ages, genders, whatever, just come together, and you're gonna get a little bit more information about this, but I just want all of us, everybody, to come together, share our stories, share our culture, share our food, you know, and games. Let's learn from one another. Let's accept one another. We don't have to be in agreement with everything. You know, you have your own opinion, I have my own opinion, but at least let's accept one another. As long as once we know each other a little bit more, we're gonna find out that we're so much more alike than not. And this celebration is gonna be fun.
Outside.
It's outside. I promise you that Tina is gonna provide good weather, right? You guarantee that good weather.
Guarantee.
Guaranteed. And so.
And it's not virtual, it's in person.
Yeah, in person.
More excited.
Yeah, yeah, and then we're gonna have a lot of singers. I think we're gonna have some K-pop singers as well. They're flying over from Atlanta. That we booked them, and so this girl Sienna, I can't wait until she perform. She's from Vegas, and she's coming over and perform for us. So it's gonna be very fun. Okay. It's gonna be fun. Come out and have fun.
Thank you, Matthew.
Thank you,
Greg.
Thank you.
And just hope that everybody will come out. Mọi người tới Asia Times Square vào ngày 22 và ngày 23 năm này 2021 để celebrate một cái event rất là to như thế này. Và phần nói chuyện với chúng tôi cùng với ông Greg Gessner là councilman của Grand Prairie Place 8 và cũng như anh Matthew đến đây xin được tạm ngưng và hẹn gặp lại với quý vị trong chương trình talk show kỳ tới. Goodbye.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye bye. Thank you.